let me just have a look at coin market cap or coin gecko. Right, so the price, it launched in April the 18th. So I need to find the launch, April the 18th. We have quite high volume at 995 million. I need to find April the 18th. And I'll have a look at Gate Mex as well. Let's see if it's on Gate and Mex. There's Mex. There's Gate. They usually list coins first. I'll go to see if I can find April. Is that April? Is that April? Oh, there you go. Look at that. So let me see which chart is the best one to use. That goes all the way down to 193. This one goes all the way down to 293. All right. So then what you do is you have a look at the data and you see what the all-time low was, and it gives me this crazy number, which I have no idea. 0. Is that 7 zeros? 51554. 7 zeros. Let me just do this. Give me a second. Oh my god. 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zeros. That's the all-time low. So let me check. Let me check it on the other chart. Right. Let me try the all-time high. That's 5 zeros. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the all-time high. I think Gate is the chart of choice. Let me see which has got the most volume. 30 trillion in the last week. Yeah, definitely Gate is the chart of choice. Just use Gate. And then what you would do is you would add those all-time high and all-time lows manually, because then you can do your fibs, which is what you want to do. You need correct fibs, and the way to do correct fibs is from the correct all-time low and all-time high. Even though here, according to this, the launch was lower, I don't know why that was like that. Look again. I don't understand. It looks like a scam to me, but okay, whatever. Now that we have that, there's a few things you can do. I'll first do the daily time frame. You can do a volume range pull on the whole volume, and actually you can see that it's got quite a tight volume range. We had a lot of volume lower down here. You see that? And what that suggests is that was a big take profit. So whoever was involved in the launch, the price went up 3.5x, They took a lot of profit, and then obviously the price went up further. So from the low, the all-time low, the launch is much lower, but let's just go from the all-time low to the point of control. You have a 21x, 21x. So you actually have people sitting on 21x in profit at the moment on PEPE. But what you expect is you expect some kind of distribution, which is what's happening here, and then you're expecting some kind of reaccumulation. So this could have been an initial distribution in the push up, yeah. So this is the distribution, and maybe up there, and now we're looking at a reaccumulation. That's what's happening now, a reaccumulation. So you start off with distribution, and then you continue on to reaccumulation. Now, no one really can predict the length of this reaccumulation, but the longer it goes, the more bullish it is. You want this reaccumulation to be as long as possible, really. So there's two types of bullish scenario. It's deep corrections or it's long consolidations. And so right now we're experiencing quite a long consolidation. It's basically from when you entered the range until now, you're almost a year in. Yeah, so PEPE hasn't moved much in that whole period. From the lows to the highs of this range, you're only looking at about a 200% increase in value. So if I was to now do some kind of bid pool, do it the other way. I did it the wrong way. So you do it from the all-time low to the all-time high. So you can see right now that the price is ranging between the 382 and the 236. You know? And actually the 382 is holding as support. So, and that's coinciding with the value area low of this extended range. So there is a support level flip on the 382 here. And you can kind of see the 236. So basically the price is kind of like here, it's like that. There's nothing really to say about PEPE. I don't know what to say except that we're in a long-term accumulation range. If the price was to dip, there's two places that you could enter. So we're into the point of control of this range, which is the point of control of the overall range. And effectively what you really want to do is you want to, at the very least, flip that into support. But really, to push up, if you want to see a push up, you need to flip this 236 into support, basically. You need to flip that into support value and then go up. And that's what you need to do. Until you do that, it's not going to go up. I don't really have much to say. I think we're just in an accumulation range. Can't really see any. There is some kind of trend line now. Let me do it from see that? We're in a bit of a trend line, huh? Right now. There's a little bit of resistance here. This is quite a large amount of volume in this push up. Someone bought heavily there. do a fib pool here. That's good. So the price came back. See that? The price came back to the golden pocket of this price range up here. It's quite good. I think it's fine. I don't know what else to say. I think we're just in a long-term accumulation range. Eventually the price will break out, and honestly, it doesn't look bad. As a trader, I wouldn't trade this until I saw a breakout, and I think you could just long the breakout. Yeah, you could probably long the breakout, and that would be the I would be thinking that's the trade to have here. Like, I wouldn't really accumulate this, because I mean, this could just keep on going. Like, it's a long play, and you're just waiting for the breakout, aren't you? I mean, if I wanted to trade this as a trader, this is where I want to enter, here, down here. Yeah. Traders want to come in here on the overall. They'd want a big pullback. This is what traders want. Like, I'll just explain. So there's two types of people. There's investors, there's traders, and there's hopers. Yeah. Right now, you've got long-term accumulation. That's investors. But traders aren't going to trade this because it's in a range. The only way that traders are going to range this is at the edges of the ranges. So they'll be looking to sell these highs, and they'll be looking to buy these lows, and they'll just take their profit along the way. As it goes up and as it goes down, they'll take their profit. That's what traders will do. Or you'll get other types of traders who will wait for significant levels to be hit on the higher time frame. And so even though we're holding some kind of volume area, if we get down here, that's going to be a real opportunity to buy. Because you would have seen all of these people panic sell, and you're coming into a previous high volume node, which corresponds perfectly with a significant fib level, which is the golden pocket. Now, traders will take that trade. They'll wait for some kind of invalidation, like a double bottom or some sort of triple bottom or something. And then they will take the trades. And their first major take profit will be the bottom of this range, loss range. They'll take most of their profit there. Then they'll let the rest run, and who knows? They could be trading for the moon. But they'll take most of their profit, because what could happen if that was to happen is that you could get the price go up, reject, and come back down into the golden pocket for another chance, another attempt to finally get the breakout to go up. That's kind of what this is possible. What I'm explaining to you right now could happen. We just don't know. Yeah, but it's all within the realms of possibility. And that's the kind of price action you'd be expecting for a trader. Someone was looking to trade this. And then you'd have a breakout much lower down if this trend line was to hold, if this is what happened. But that's where traders want to get involved. Traders aren't going to get involved in it now. So all you're experiencing right now, yeah, is long-term reaccumulation. And basically, most people who are accumulating, some people will sell if the price was to go down, but most people here will probably just keep on buying. They just keep on buying. They just keep on dollar cost averaging in, because in their mind, they're long-term investors, and they're not really investing in the token. They don't really care about the token. they're investing in the bull market, the Bitcoin bull market, and one day they're expecting this to do this, and then that's going to be meme season whenever meme season happens. Yeah, that's basically what people are doing. No one is going to hold PEPE at the end of the Bitcoin bull run. Only those who get caught in the highs, and most of those people are going to be the latecomers who are retail. They're the ones who are going to get burnt. I mean, there is the possibility that this is a wave one, and now we're seeing some kind of wave two. That's very possible. What I'm seeing is possible. And if this isn't, if that is a wave one, and this is some kind of wave two, then you could potentially have some targets. I'll do two types of targets for you. I'll do a fib extension. So this is your extension from the all-time high to the current all-time low, to the current all-time high to the low. I don't know if that works because this all-time high is not really the all-time high, it's arbitrary. So maybe it might be better to do it just to the consolidation low. This might be better. And so from the current price to the first level that I would think it could extend to is about 5x up. To the all-time high, it's a 2.7x up. And then, I don't know, I mean, if you do a trend-based fib, that might be better. But that's assuming that this is the low. I don't know if this is the low. I can't tell you that. Then you would be thinking maybe potentially, let's just say from the all-time low here to there, to there. Potentially. Let me just check one more thing. Hold on. It doesn't really line up. Nothing lines up. It's hard because I don't know if this low is in. I don't know. I can't tell you that. This might go down, make a lower, make another, you know, like until the low is in, you just don't. It'll be very difficult to create targets on a new coin like this. Very difficult. Try it from here. This might be better. Let me have a look. It's like a 1-to-1 from here to here to here will take us up to there. I mean, I think maybe for me that would probably be the, because the 618 kind of lines up to the all-time high. From the current price to the 1-to-1, you're probably looking at a 13x. So let me just do this more accurately. Let's lay there. I'll just go to the high here. That's fine. And then I'm just taking it from this pivot here. There you go. The major take profit is the all-time high. The reason why you would take profit at the all-time high is because if we go up, it could just do that. Just don't, you can't predict that. And so it could just be, it could just continue the range. And what you could end up with, even though it's ranging, and actually there is some kind of like inverse head and shoulders forming here. Just bear that in mind. But I mean, even if that formed, the distance would be the all-time high if it broke out. You're only really going as far as the all-time high here. See? So I think the all-time high will be a take profit. And then if you if you and what you might form is a higher time frame pattern. It could be like a flat top triangle. You know, you could, this is the thing, like you go from one pattern to another pattern to another pattern, and sometimes patterns break and they form other patterns. And what you'd be looking for is a bullish pattern like this. This would be really nice if we went into your time high, took profit, and then start forming some kind of that. That would be really nice. That would, and that would make sense, because it means people are taking profit and they're just trying to buy back in, but it's so bullish that the price can only make a higher low every time, higher low, and then it keeps on testing this flat top until you finally get a breakout. This would be really bullish if that was to happen. Or if that wasn't to happen, there's so many things that can happen. If it goes up, you could just be ranging, just, you know, continue to range. It's possible. I'll give you an example on another token just so that you can see what I'm saying. But I mean, there isn't really more to say about this. Investors are accumulating, and then one day they're hoping that it's going to expand, and there's going to be meme season, and then PEPE is going to be all over Twitter, and then retail are going to go PEPE mad, and they're going to buy the price up. And then the key challenge for most people who are in this token now is to take profit at key levels. And so the way to do that is, once you have, I mean, the best way to do that in my mind is if we go up to make another high, the easiest way to do that is just to take a fib extension to whatever low is formed. The low is here, then do it to there, and then you've got your key take profits, your 1272, your 1414, your 1618, your 2. I mean, you could go, you know, you could just have a look through these fibs and just mark them off and put levels. That's kind of what I think about PEPE right now, but it is forming some kind of inverse. I don't like these inverse head and shoulders in the highs, actually. I don't like these patterns. And then the other chart that I was thinking about when I said about, look, if I'll show you a new chart. It's Prop S, which I've been following. I'm not in it, but I just follow it. If I can find it. So here, look, I've got some stupid drawings. I'll get rid of those. So you see, this kind of did the same thing in a very shorter time frame. It did, you had the first kind of distribution there, and now it's in reaccumulation. This is the first move up, was distribution, and then you're in some kind of reaccumulation range now, kind of like PEPE a little bit, yeah. And after it made the first all-time high, you see when it went to go to the second all-time high, it was sold into, and it's just back into the range. Yeah, no reason to think just because it makes a new all-time high after it's made an all-time high that it's going to continue to the moon. Yeah, because people who've accumulated at the lows will take profit. That's what you have to imagine. You have to bear that in mind. These are people taking profit. Yeah. Eventually there'll be an exhaustion of profit taking, and if you compound that with people entering the market because of the hype, and that's largely to do with Bitcoin, that's when you can get an overcoming of the sellers, and then you get the next expansion next. And so this, for me, this is quite a little bit similar when I look at PEPE, I see something very similar. But the difference is that PEPE has been ranging for a much longer time and has a much larger market cap, I imagine. What is the market cap? Look at that, 510 million. I mean, honestly, I think if you're going to accumulate, don't do accumulate PEPE. It's quite a large market cap. Like, it might 10x or 20x, but you'll get small coins like that prop S I was showing you. Prop base, 7 million. Yeah. And basically it's doing exactly the same thing as PEPE, but it's a much smaller market cap. And so therefore it will probably expand much further just because it's a small market cap. And so while PEPE has a big hype train behind it, potentially, there's a problem with memes. It's like it's in season, out of season, like one meme takes over. There's no real value, and it's a hard one. Like there's a lot of like other good coins which will have better value. Like for example, the one that I've been tracking, TRVL, I think it's amazing. Completely different chart. Now, TRVL does have that problem that I suggested earlier. So it didn't have a bull run. So after the initial launch, it sold. The price was sold. And it's never really run, ever. Let me just pull that back. Get rid of this and this. And what you effectively had, after, because it was the bear market and it just they launched basically at the worst time possible, which was the end of Bitcoin bull market, November the 21st, 2021. Basically, because you've made a lower low here, this is the higher high. So effectively what you needed to do is make a higher low, which hasn't happened. So you made a lower low. So in this bull market, this token has to make a higher high. Has to. There's no question about it. This token has to make a higher high. Yeah. I think it will. I think it will because the trend has changed. If there's a golden cross, there's a lot of interest in this, and this project is off the charts. It's an amazing project. Yeah. Just go and do your research. Go onto Dtravel.com, have a look. Go and do a deep dive on Dtravel. Have a look for some of my videos. I go over the business in depth. Okay. But this still has the same problem as some of the other tokens I talked about. It still has to make a higher high. But the great thing about this, the difference between something like this and something like, I don't know, PEPE or Prop S or any other token, is that you're basically accumulating at the very low. This is, for me, this is the very low. And underneath the launch price, which was 9 cents, is basically like people are coming in as pre-launch investors. So when you're accumulating this token now, it's basically like your early investors. No one ever gets a chance to be an early investor in these tokens, because it's usually offered to capitalists, to venture capitalists, and to hedge angel investors, because they're the ones with the money to throw around. So in my mind, I get anyone, like basically us, basically me, basically anyone who's listening to me has an opportunity to accumulate this as pre-launch price under 9 cents. And this is a great project, and I think this will make the higher high. But it does have that same problem. Like the same problem still exists, market structure, okay? And some tokens will and some tokens won't create bullish market structure in this bull cycle. Some tokens have really no chance. And for me, this has every chance to get bullish market structure, because when I look at the moving averages, we've made a golden cross on the daily time frame. that is the beginning of a trend reversal. Yeah. And I'm seeing higher time frame bullish patterns forming. I've got the idea of some sort of Adam and Eve. That's an Adam and Eve pattern. I've also got the idea of some sort of Wyckoff accumulation forming. That's my Wyckoff accumulation. Yeah. So let me just delete all those brush strokes. I like brush strokes, but then I have to delete them. So I've been tracking this token for a while, and I've got these ideas forming. And if these don't pan out, then we're looking at something else potentially. So I think when you're comparing like PEPE, when I'm comparing PEPE to something like this, I'm like, why PEPE? Why not this? And you just have to go and have a look. For me, this is a lot more interesting because you are catching the lows. Whereas with PEPE, you're basically catching the bull market momentum, but you have to sell. I think most people who get in on this project now won't have to sell most of their position, because once it goes back up into the previous range above 9 cents, which is the launch price, 9 cents, and if it does in the future make an all-time high and continue to do its 5-wave Elliott wave, which I'm expecting, then I don't really expect the price to come back down to 9 cents. It'd be very unlikely because you've just made a higher high. So the next challenge, which will be an easy challenge for the bulls, will, after the bull market is over, will be some sort of higher low. So that's, once we make a higher high, the next challenge will be a higher low. And I think at the very least, at the very lowest, 9 cents, at the very lowest, 9 cents would be higher low, at the very lowest. The very lowest, but I think probably much higher, probably about 20 or 30 cents at the, and it depends. Like, no one can really predict the future. It just depends, because I think it depends on people extracting value. It depends on the network growing. It depends on the business. And these real world assets in the bear market always do better. These deep in real world assets in the bear market always do better than nothing tokens, rubbish tokens. So I think something to have a look at. It's,